Happy Tuesday, Bears fans. We're 2 days away from the NFL draft. Speaking of which, Ryan Poles spoke to the media ahead of the draft. We'll kind of dive into a couple of nuggets that he dropped earlier today. Plus, are the Bears' plans at the number 9 pick out there? Have they been revealed? Have people put 2 and 2 together? We'll try and dissect through that as well. But first, perfect time to subscribe to the channel because we are going to be live for all 3 days of the NFL draft, starting on Thursday night for round 1. Then we'll be live for rounds 2 and 3 on Friday, and then Saturday as well. Even if the Bears end up not having a pick, they currently only have 1 on day 3, but we will still go live. You never know what could happen. We want to chop it all up with you. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. We're trying to take the Raiders report down this month in new subscribers. We have a good lead, but we need to extend that lead because during the draft, Mitchell Renz and his Raiders Report minions are going to be bringing it. So hit that sub button. It's free. Let's get this party rolling. Okay, let's talk draft as Ryan Poles talked draft earlier today. Him and Ian Cunningham spoke to the media this afternoon and obviously didn't give away much in terms of plans. I mean, he's not going to go up there and be like, yep, if this player's available at 9, we're drafting him. But I thought he had a few tidbits worth diving into here on today's show. Let's start with Caleb Williams. Is Caleb Williams the pick? They were asked straight up, are you ready to announce that, make that official? And with a little tongue-in-cheek and a smile from both of the Bears' top executives, Ryan Poles said this: unfortunately, I think that's something everyone has to tune in on Thursday to watch and figure out. That was met with laughter. I feel really good about our process and where we are and where we're headed. We know what we're going to do, but everyone is going to have to wait until Thursday. And again, Poles and Cunningham were kind of, smirking, cracking smiles there. Everybody in that room knows where this is heading. We've known for weeks. It is going to be Caleb Williams on Thursday night. But the NFL wants to build any sort of suspense for the draft. I'm sure they've communicated with the Bears like, hey, let's not announce it literally to the world before Thursday to build up that suspense for draft night, even though we all know the suspense really starts with the number 2 pick, and hell, at this point, it might be number 3. Sounds like Jaden Daniels is going 2 to Washington. But Williams will be there. We'll talk more about him here in just a second. As we get to the second point here from Ryan Poles, I thought this was interesting. He was asked about the feedback he got from the players currently on the Bears roster that went to that top 30 visit dinner with Caleb Williams in Lake Forest. We've talked about this a few times. More and more details have emerged, and Poles dropping more today, that Caleb, when he did take his top 30 to Chicago, didn't do the dinner with Poles and some of the top execs because he had already met with them a bunch. They saved more of that for the actually being inside of Hallis Hall plus the prior meetings. The Bears said, hey, go have dinner with DJ Moore, Tyreek Stevenson, Cole Kmet, and some other guys. And here's what Poles had to say in terms of what information he got back from the players after that dinner. He said, really intelligent guy, came across as a good teammate, I was told, easy to talk to, down to earth. We've talked about the Hollywood thing. He's all ball, wants to work, wants to get better, wants us to win as a team. That's the number one thing for him on top of being successful. The biggest thing is, does he fit in our culture and what we're trying to do? All signs were that he does. And that kind of last line was probably like the final box to check, right? Like, hey, we like him, the coaches like him, the execs. Let's see how some of our top leaders on our team like him. Okay, yeah, he's going to fit in well here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn in that card on Thursday night. And look, 2 days until it's officially official. But here on Chicago Bears Now, we made it official earlier this week. We've already penciled him in to QB1 of the Bears quarterback depth chart. So it may not be official, set in stone until Thursday night, but it's official on Chicago Bears Now. I can tell you that right now. So Caleb Williams will be a Bear officially in a couple of days, but as far as we're concerned, that has already taken place. One more thing from Ryan Poles, then we'll talk number 9 pick as well, as today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Start going to your favorite sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, musical events, and more, and get the best prices available with the Game Time app. Download it today. Search your app store for Game Time. That big white letter G with the black background will pop up. That's the right app to download. And then create your account and use promo code CHATSPORTS to get $20 off. You can head out to Wrigley to go watch the Cubs. You can check out the White Sox, although they're pretty bad. But you can get into Guaranteed Rate Field very cheap. that's a bonus. It's always nice to go to a ball game, especially for a low cost, so go do that. The Rolling Stones are coming to Soldier Field in June. Go check them out while they're still kicking. Get the best prices available. Last minute tickets, lowest price guarantee. They're going to show you the vantage point of the tickets you're looking at. They're going to show you the best deals they have when you're searching their app. It's awesome. It's the best. You can use your Venmo balance to purchase tickets as well, which I think is a nice little bonus as well. Link is in the comments and in the description to download and create your account today. Again, use promo code ChatSports to get $20 off. Shout out to Game Time. Okay. Last one here. Is trading down a preference? Poles was asked, hey, you've got 4 draft picks right now. Do you want to add more? He's obviously got 1, 9, 75, and 122. And here was a direct quote from him. He said, I feel good where we're at. If that happens, great. Whatever we need to accomplish what we're trying to do. He also added this in terms of, he said, whatever, if that happens, great about trading down. He also kind of threw in a line of like, if we have less picks, that's okay too. Is that at least cracking the door open of a trade up for like a Marvin Harrison Jr.? Who knows? But at the end of the day, I do think the Bears want a blue chip player. So if they trade down, they're going to have their board, and when they're at 9, let's say they have 4 blue chip players left on their board. Well, they can't go below 12 then, because 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 4 spots. Like, if you're at 9 and you got 2 blue chip players left on your board, well, you can only go down to 10 or 11 then. Like, I don't think they're going to risk falling into that next bucket of players in terms of their big board. I really do believe that. Now, maybe they could do a big trade back and then trade up. Who knows? But I kind of tend to think that they're going to stay put at 9 unless they can get a good trade offer while still acquiring a blue chip player according to their board. And of that note, coming up in a moment, are the Bears' plans at number 9 out there? Have they been leaked, or is it all a smokescreen? We'll discuss that in a second. But I want to hear from you. B. Ryan Poles, put on your GM cap. Should the Bears trade down from number 9? Type T for trade or S for stay. Let us know what you guys would do. T for trade, S for stay. I would probably stay, especially if it's a top 3 receiver, but I want to hear what you guys think. All right. Dane Brugler kind of threw something out there that caught my attention, that he was kind of, I don't know if this is based on intel or what he would do or what, a combination, but I thought he kind of was pretty blunt in the way he put this. He kind of replied to a tweet of, hey, like, could the Bears take Byron Murphy? Where there's been a lot of buzz around that the last couple of days. But he said, yep, Byron Murphy at 9 is a very realistic scenario. That makes me think he's heard that, not just he's throwing that out there. The disruptive 3-tech that Eberflus covets for his scheme, which we've talked about for 2 years. And then the asterisks there referring to if the top 3 receivers are off the board, interesting if. And Dane seems to think if one of the top 3 receivers is there, they will turn in that card. And that's what I've said all along in terms of what I would do. If Odunze, Nabers, or Marvin Harrison gets to 9, that's a no-brainer for me. But what's the plan after that? I've kind of gone through what I would do after that based on who's available. But is Byron Murphy that next plan for the Chicago Bears? Remember, Albert Breer and others, frankly, but this quote from Breer yesterday as well, kind of doubling down on what Dane was saying there. A couple of friends of Ryan Poles said he'll be looking to add talent around Caleb Williams, talking about one of the top 3 wide receivers to pair with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. If not, maybe an offensive lineman or Texas 3-technique Byron Murphy. Obviously, Dane didn't mention the offensive lineman, but if I'm just connecting dots here, I kind of think one of these 5 players, if they stay at 9, will be the Bears selection. One of the top 3 receivers, if they're there, Harrison, Nabers, Odunze, that's a no-brainer to me if one of them gets there. Byron Murphy, and then if Joe Alt were to get there, maybe they have someone higher on their offensive line board. I'm not sure, but I kind of think this will be the pick, one of these 5 players, if I had to guess, if they don't trade down. And again, one of those guys is almost virtually going to be there, because if 4 quarterbacks go in the top 8 like we all think they will, then it is a guarantee one of them is there, because the 5 more players there, only 4 spots before the Bears pick at 9. Now, if 3 quarterbacks go and those 5 players are the next 5 that go off the board, then technically they could all be gone. But if that's the case, then the 4th quarterback is still on the board at 9, which increases the value of the pick to trade down. So you're kind of in a good spot regardless of how this plays out, especially if you're really high on Byron Murphy, which I really like him a lot. It certainly seems like the Bears are too, unless this is a big smokescreen. Who knows? But I think there's a really good chance the Bears are just going to stay put and take the best player available out of those 5 guys. All right, shout them out. Who is your top target at number 9? I want to hear it from you guys down in the comment section below, as we are just 2 days away from the NFL draft. We're going to have you covered the entire way, including our final mock draft tomorrow. We'll also dissect some Bears draft targets as well. 2 videos on Wednesday. Stay tuned for that. It's youtube.com/BearsNow. Share that link with a friend. Subscribe, and we'll see you soon.